All right, guys, welcome back to Mr. Post Frame. It is October 4th, which is crazy, but the weather's awesome today. We are going to do a video on the doghouse today, get you up to speed on this. I've got the insulation down, I've got the frost protection at the garage door down, we've got the concrete in. We're going to talk about some of that stuff so you guys can navigate that on your own projects. But for you guys that are new to the channel, I self-built my own Barndominium. We custom design and build Barndominiums, and our whole business has basically revolves around helping you guys reach your dream. It was my dream to build my own house, kind of have my own homestead, and so our goal is to help you. So check out our website, www.mrpostframe.com. You'll find all the resources we have, patron group, design services, partners, all that stuff. Check it out. For those of you who've been around for a while, you know that Justin left to move to Texas, so that means I'm behind on editing. We've wrapped up some projects, and so I'm getting some time in my schedule, and I'm really going to push to get the solo Barno build back up and running, the Is Self Building Worth It back up and running, and I'm going to try to crank out 2 to 3 videos a week for a while to get caught up on all that stuff. I like to be real time as I can. But we really appreciate you guys watching. Let's go ahead and jump into today's show. Alright guys, I'm down here at the doghouse, which has been basically like this for a while. I'm almost ready for concrete. I just got to put insulation down on the floor, but like a lot of you said, I would pour concrete in this whole thing, and that's what I'm going to do. So I want to put a overhead door here to seal this off. There's just too many critters that are going to get in here, so I have to put one more post hole, which I just dug. But look at this tool. This guy at the NFBA gave me this thing. It's a prototype. It's a hole clean out tool, and it actually worked out pretty well. It's just got a little cutting edge here. And I was actually skeptical on how well this would turn, and I'm sure depending on your soil type and stuff like that, but if you have looser soil or dry soil where you have a couple inches left, this actually would probably work pretty good. I used it on this. It turned way easier than I thought. And look at that. The bottom of my hole is like perfectly clean. Not perfectly, but probably the best that I've ever had. So, right application, something like this might work. I don't know when if he's gonna start making these and putting them into production, but he gave me one and said try it out. And so I did. Actually could come in handy. All right, we have this framed in. I had a couple extra 3-ply columns from a long time ago, so put a 3-ply column there. Had to pour a pier, and then I was able to land a bracket, half a bracket on that pier right there, and I put a 3-ply column there. So now this is 12 by 10. That one is 16 by 10. So now I got 2 overhead doors. Next step is to get all that insulation put down in here, which we're gonna do right now, and then the concrete can be done at any time. All right guys, we have all of the insulation down, and this goes so fast. This Hitz Halter insulation covers 96 square feet. So how that works, it's a 24 foot long by 4 foot wide, and every 4 feet there's a break, like a hinge, so it's a bifold. And then you just stretch it out. It's got vapor barrier built on both sides, and then all you have to do is tape the seams. So we are at the point where we're at this garage door opening. You can see right here where that orange line is. And so what I do, I haven't always put insulation across there. My house, at all the garage doors, there's no insulation across there. I have radiant heat, and I have no cracking in my concrete. I mean, I have a good 6 inches of gravel base. I have my slab, and I always have my hydronic heat on. This building here is not going to be heated, but I still want to protect from frost. So what I'm going to do is dig down a trench from the edge of door to edge of door, and then put vertical insulation in so that I can stop that frost drive underneath the concrete slab. So once I get this in right here, this insulation will come and go right over the top edge of the vertical insulation, and that way it will give me frost protection from that frost drive angling down and underneath the slab. So if you don't have it, I don't think I would be too stressed about it. This is how we do it. I'm going to go ahead and start digging this trench, and I will tell you that digging this trench does suck a little bit. It's a lot of hard work depending on your ground. This ground is incredibly hard because if I pan over here, you can see that I had to dig out quite a ways. So everything down here is undisturbed, hard packed soil. So it is going to be a little bit more difficult for me to dig. The gravel is going to come up easy. However, we got some hard packed dirt, so I am going to have to bust it, and I'm probably going to get pretty sweaty doing this. Not looking forward to it. I don't like doing this. All right, guys, so you can see me struggling digging in this frost protection. And this is definitely difficult. It's hard to be motivated to do it because it's not fun. This gravel was actually almost like concrete because it had been there so long. It had been rained on, ran over a bunch. So I struggled to get the frost protection dug in. Now, depending on how deep you need to go is depending on your location. Where I am, I'm only required 14 inches of vertical insulation, no horizontal. The further north you go, you might be required to go put horizontal insulation down as well. There is a chart in the IRC under frost protected shallow foundations that you can find out what you're required to do in your area. The most you have to go down in any place in the country is 16 inches. So as far north that you go, up into Alaska, the IRC only calls for 16 inches of vertical insulation. However, it will also show you that there is going to be horizontal insulation required in order to keep you protected from frost. In my situation, I only need vertical insulation. So that's all I'm doing. I'm not going to do anything that's unnecessary, and I've done this a lot, and it works. All right, so I have all of the insulation down. I put vertical insulation along the doors, and now the last step is to tape it off. Hitz Halter does not have its own tape. I don't know why it does, but the tape that I really like to use is this Georgia Pacific Force Field tape. It's like a flashing tape, window flashing tape. Georgia Pacific makes an OSB like Weather Logic, like zip sheathing, and this is the tape for that. So this sticks really good. With that being said, zip tape would work good. Any of those tapes, they're a little bit more expensive, but when you put these down, they stay. So that's the last step, is I am going to go ahead and tape all these seams quick. Shouldn't take me too long. I've gotten pretty quick at it. And we will be ready for concrete. So I am pumped up. It's been a long time coming, and I need this to happen so I can get my garage cleaned. I have a place to put my equipment where the mice and stuff can't get into it. So let's get going. far as the concrete goes, I do a 5-inch slab. That's what I like to do. I think it's more solid. If I have a high spot, I'm not getting down below 4 inches. So that's what I shoot for, is 5-inch slab. I have poured a 30 by 40 with 2 other guys. So there was 3 of us that did it. Unfortunately, where I'm at now, I just don't have anybody that can come help me. But if you have a few guys that have done concrete before, you could easily do this size of a building on your own. You just have to rent a power trowel, and if you have a laser, you can set your grade. You can use grade stakes if you want. But this is definitely something that you could do on your own and could save a ton of money. With that being said, you make sure you have experience and you have a couple guys that know what they're doing. Otherwise, you could get yourself into trouble. As far as all the relief cuts, we do 8 by 8 squares, and we cut them within 24 hours of the pour. That way, as the concrete, the water starts coming out of the concrete and that concrete shrinks, we can control where all the concrete is going to crack. That's why they're called relief cuts, because you're scoring the concrete, forcing the concrete to crack where you want it. Then once you get that done, concrete cures, you can come back and fill those cuts with a filler, and then seal your floor, and you're good to go. Those are just some things to think about when you're pouring your concrete. I like to have at least one floor drain in a building. That way, if I'm pulling in a vehicle that's wet or has snow on it, and it melts off, it's going to go down the drain and outside. All right, so let's go in here and check it out since the concrete's done. You can see right here, my apron comes out and over, and my frost protection is back underneath where that door sits. That's where the frost protection goes down. And so the concrete comes over, drops down, so it's a little bit thicker. This will all get brought up to the edge of that concrete. I'll probably pour a little pad right here in front of the door. I will cover all these door trims that I use in the next video, so you can see how we trim that out. Here's what it looks like inside. You can see our relief cuts. I'm pretty pumped that this is all done. Some things to think about where your garage door sits right here. From this point right here, that's where I have them angle the concrete down. So any water that hits this door and comes down on the outside will go to the outside. That way, none of it runs back in. So keep that in mind when you're, getting concrete done. If you don't have your H-framing, H-framing is basically a 2x6 that goes up the column. You're framing across there and then back down. You want to make sure you start that angle at that 2x6 that gets attached to your post. Cover this in the next video too. We put a sill. I custom made a sill that door sits in. Thought I would try it. I got to get the metal on, and then we can get the spray foam in. I like windows in my doors, just so I can see out when I'm in here, let some natural light in. But that's personal preference. All right, guys, thanks for watching. That's going to be a wrap on today's show. Don't forget to check out our website, mrpostframe.com. And as always, we appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Share us with your friends, and we will catch you on the next video.